It'll be just a moment. If you would like, there are refreshments and snacks off to the side. Feel free to take one along with an enrollment packet.
I will take an enrollment packet and a glass of water or something.
No,
Passenger,
but
there is coffee.
yeah, I was just gonna ask. I do pull my my cup out, check to see if I had cleaned it since the last time I used it. I definitely didn't. I will take a moment, whatever facility happens to be on hand, just to like pour a little water in it, clean it out with something, decide it's good enough, and then pour myself some coffee.
All right. The dwarf leaves and is gone for about 10 minutes. And when he comes back, he is followed by a halfling.
I will
Uh,
stand as they approach.
she is, a fairly standard looking halfling. She's got her hair tied back in a, braided bun winding behind her head. And the robes that she's wearing are very ornate. And she just has a big, big grin on her face. Hello! Welcome to my office. What can I help you with?
Oh,
My secretary here said you saw somebody that was a promising prospect for a student.
we did. However, we're not sure that they may be able to. And I just flipped through the pamphlet to where it lists pricing for semesters. Pay the very reasonable fees that are listed here in tuition.
Of course. Well, depending on the circumstance, we do offer some very reasonable scholarship programs if the minimum requirements are met. Uh, could you tell us a bit about the prospective applicant?
I will I'll go into a spiel. I'm obviously not from around here, but
Mhm.
I'll show them what magical talent that I have programmed into my machines and whatnot, and show summoned armor. I know what I'm talking about when I say I know magic, even though I don't look it. Um, and retract armor and whatnot.
She's got a little bit of a glint in her eye, and she's like, "Are you sure you wouldn't be interested in applying yourself?"
I unfortunately have other engagements, but I will be keeping this pamphlet for later.
Of course.
Um, and then explain that, as we were traveling through the Dust District, we
Her
ended
face
up
similarly scrunches.
Mm.
we ended up at an orphanage. And now obviously at the orphanage they have minimal funds, but we noticed at least one of the youths to have an uncanny level of natural magical talent. The sort of talent that, if honed properly, could be an asset to the Dwarven Kingdoms, and, if not honed properly, could be a menace to the gods in the
Uh, she,
future.
she quirks an eyebrow at the menace to the gods comment. Well, that is quite curious. I
Talent like that is something that needs to be curbed and honed, and if left unchecked.
I will make a
eh,
note, though, my good sir. The Academy of Ulis, while we may be located within the city, we are independent of the Dwarven Kingdoms.
Fair. As I said, I am an outsider. If the
Yeah,
skin
Of
comes
course.
my
passengers'
way.
whole demeanor changes. Passenger went from like sitting in a courtroom, right, straight back, knee or like ankles crossed, just looking over the top of the coffee cup, sipping quietly and hardcore judging. Says that and immediately relaxes. Oh, good.
Yes, due to the Academy's history, we were founded, in fact, before Ulyss was. So, we are our own independent enterprise. But as much as I can appreciate the desire to help an orphan from a
Less than reputable district.
less than ideal living situation, it's not really my position to create such a thing. Were it up to me, I would let them in a heartbeat.
I'm not saying you need to let them in. I am advising. I'm not saying anything. I would advise, though, that since you have a recruitment program, send one of your recruiters out to the Dust District to this orphanage. Let them see for themselves, and let them make that decision and recommendation to you.
She thinks on it for a moment, and then nods. That seems like a reasonable suggestion.
Steven, I've been watching this lady for as long as she's been here. Does she seem like she is remotely interested, or is she doing the customer service thing that a lot of admin will do, where she is telling you effectively what you want to hear without really fully lying to you?
Roll me an insight check.
Yeah. Nah, 15. Yeah, that's 15.
All right. With a 15, you get the feeling that she's not putting all that much weight into it.
Yeah.
And that, well, she likes the idea of the good buzz that would be created by uplifting, orphans in need. It would also mean admitting somebody from the Dust District.
Think at that point, passenger, like what listening to her very polite bureaucratic bullshit, passenger's going to like swallow the desire to go on attack here, and meet her where she is, and also do some bureaucratic bullshit,
Well,
because
thank
that's what
good,
I
because
grew up with.
I'm bad at bureaucratic bullshit.
Well,
I know
what I
what's
was,
going on here. I just have no way to combat it.
yeah. I will. I went from like relaxed to like kind of sliding back into a little bit of that primness, but like in the buddy way where I'm like, okay, we can be friends now. Set the coffee cup aside, kind of stride over, and I don't condescend to her at all, but I think I'm going to say something to the effect of, look, I recognize, based on my own history and background, that sometimes people say things to get people out of the room in order to move forward with their lives. I think you are not putting enough weight into what it is that my friend Elgavar here is saying. This isn't just a charity, an opportunity for charity or a good PR campaign. This is this is something that you can do that will help your school and the community, and not to get too flowery about it, but don't you want the best? Don't you want to take any opportunity you can get to do what this place was designed for?
She clasps her hands behind her back, thinks on it.
Is there anything in the pamphlet about school um, mottos and or things that
Yeah.
would help
Oh, God.
persuade I'm just
come up
flipping
with a
through the
cool
pamphlet.
motto, Steven.
No, I don't need you to come up with one on the spot, okay? Just
Why didn't I think
these
to come up
mottos
with a motto?
usually these usually have what this school stands for and whatnot in the brochure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Steven,
no,
what's their mission statement? Huh?
Right.
Mainly, I'm just on. I was thinking about this place all month, and I didn't think you would be like, "What's their motto?"
God, he doesn't have park names. He doesn't have mission
Cool
statements or
flag look like?
mottos.
Who's their cheer team? Like, what is their mascot?
Well, their mascot is the silver dragon.
Oh shit,
Right.
he has
But
answers.
is their mascot named like oh god, I had something. It was Bahamut but cutesy. Damn it. Nope. Don't remember it. Never mind.
Let's
Anyway.
see.
I'm just flipping through the pamphlet, like,
The mission statement is, well, the motto is. I had a good one. Where'd it go?
feel bad for you. I'm sorry.
What's the curriculum like? I mean,
Classes start at 7:30 in the morning.
I don't know if that's a curriculum, but okay. You know what? Give me your syllabus. What's your syllabus?
United in knowledge. There.
Perfect. Thank you for giving me exactly what I needed. Who exactly are you trying to unite? And I will jab an accusing finger at the pamphlet that Elgavar is holding forward. Is it only the people from a certain district who were born to certain parents? Is it so improbable that talent, and beyond talent, the potential for greatness could come from anywhere?
With her hands still clasped behind her back, she sort of straightens up a bit, and you can see her face kind of goes stony, where this is no longer a friendly meet and greet. This is now business. We, here at the Academy, unite all those who desire knowledge and are also able to bring knowledge to the table. Well, my heart goes out to the orphans in the Dust District. At this point in time, we just don't feel as though the knowledge a 7-year-old from the Dust District could bring to our table is worthwhile.
How could you possibly know that? Have you met them?
Certainly not at 7 years old. But give them 5 years to maybe check up on them.
That's a pretty weird policy for a school as well. We expect our students to come here and teach us things.
Right? But also, they definitely have life lessons that y'all are missing. Even at 7, I'd be willing to bet that they could teach you a thing or two about humility.
She shrugs.
And about grace.
Then perhaps you could recommend her to the Academy in Embershire. I hear their admission standards are lower.
Talk to me about Embershire, Stephen.
It is the capital city of Osifix, the country that Passenger is initially from.
I will hop right on that. And how do you propose that they get there?
She shrugs.
Oh, not your problem, I see.
Pretty much. Now, Is there anything else you wish to discuss? I have actual appointments I should be keeping.
Mind sliver.
Oh my god.
Old move Cotton. Let's see if it plays out.
At least this one can't fall off an airship.
Passenger and her classic mind sliver the bureaucratic
As a sorcerer, do you
Like
have
this.
hidden spell?
It's-
Please tell me you.
This, I
Okay,
believe this
hold
is
on.
a special thing for.
Well, specifically, mind sliver is only a vocal component, and that vocal component is me going, really. But if you would like, let me take a look at.
Yeah, I was gonna say the best way that spell could work is it's a somatic component, and it's just the good old like raised eyebrow quirk.
Oh no, no. I do have subtle spell specifically for things like this. I will expend a sorcery point to not have to use the vocal component.
All right.
Give him the Spock or the Teal'c eyebrow.
Let's see, and that's well, a wisdom save?
It is intelligence.
Intelligence, okay.
I might give her disadvantage on the roll. Hold on one second.
Do not.
Heightened
If
spell,
your
yep.
NPCs are going to be petty, we will return pettiness in full.
Oh yes. So 1 sorcery point goes to subtle spell, and 3 sorcery points go to heightened spell, so that she has disadvantage on this roll.
Oh
Jesus.
my god.
Nick, I'm really
Okay.
excited to hear how half the party gets arrested, and we have
mean,
to bust them out for the
this-
second half of the session.
There's
If that
no
does happen, this will be the
incriminating-
second campaign I've in where I've played one of the few characters that didn't get arrested.
Okay, let's say
To be fair, is there anybody better to break people out of prison than you and me? I mean, come on.
Good point.
Couple of thieves, I think we'll get it done quick.
Yeah. Plus, I've got connections
What's the
and
save?
can essentially fight unarmed since my weapons are psychic.
True.
What's the save, Amanda?
It's intelligence.
Yeah, but the number I need to
Number.
meet.
Oh god. A million, basically.
I don't believe you.
It's 13.
She fails.
Excellent.
Damn. No legendary resistance on the headmaster. Come on.
Nope, she has no lair actions. She's not the headmaster.
Oh, I thought you said.
Promptly takes 1 psychic damage. Will have disadvantage on her next saving throw. And I imagine, feels real bad.
You see her put her hand up against her head and rub her temple a bit.
Yeah, and this is a pure spite thing for Passenger, for whom this little trick definitely got her into trouble more than once at home. But it's the one weapon she's got. They've got to use it.
I'm just saying, one of my favorite things is just Passenger mind slivering bureaucrats.
Absolutely. That's kind of Passenger's whole thing. I know you haven't gotten to know them super well.
Just gonna,
or at least not in this capacity, but
I think I've gotten to know Passenger well enough to know what Mind Sliver looks like, though.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I am not going to say a damn thing.
Yeah.
The administrator.
She's like, yeah, basically, I have other appointments to. Ow. Yeah, she gets most of the way through saying, I have other appointments to keep before she gets hit with a nasty migraine, and I turn on my heel and I leave.
Yeah, like she's just rubbing her head, like
I'm going to use
waving you guys off and going.
As we leave, I'm going to use 2 of my cubes to amplify our footsteps as we leave. 1 for mine, 1 for Passengers. Just
Nice.
As you
Yes.
guys are leaving, just before the door would close, the dwarf comes out and sort of power walks near you guys. Hey, come here.
Stop. Turn. Glare.
No,
Mhm.
no. If you really want to press this matter, I would recommend talking to the headmaster.
What?
Fine.
Around this time, he's probably in the library.
Of course. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
He is probably going to be a bit more open to this kind of thing.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, the
What's your
library, just go out the main entrance, take a left. It's going to be the big building set against the wall across the walkway.
Libraries are massive. What section does he usually haunt?
He's a big fan of ancient history.
All right. What's your name, good sir?
Fuck. uh, my name is Elrum Marblegrace.
Elbow?
Elrum Marblegrace.
Thanks, Elbow.
Elbow
I'm
Baggins.
kidding. I will extend a hand for him to shake, thanking him, and then take it or not. I'm heading toward the library.
He shakes your hand and then quickly goes back into the office before he's noticed.
And as he does, turn the cubes back on. Just angrily amplifying our footsteps through the hallways.
All right. Leave the administration building.
As soon as we're out of the administration building, I shut it off.
All right. You get a number of looks, heads poking out of doorways. Like, what in the world's going on?
Actually stomping down the hall. I love it.
Yeah, no, you're stomping down the hall, but even that is amplified by what I'm doing. That's
right about the time you leave, you notice a couple of individuals dressed kind of like security, just kind of eyeing you.
I'll wink at one of them.
nod politely.
They scowl.
Good.
Outside, looking to the left, you see...
Perfect gentleman.
Mhm.
And as soon as we're out of earshot of anybody that could actually do anything, was that really necessary?
Absolutely. I hope
Very well.
I hope Pat smarts for the rest of the day.
I'm not going to push it. I'm just going to ask, was that really necessary? And that's the end of my portion of the conversation.
That is a woman who has never experienced pain. Not really.
And we'll continue on to the library then.
All right. Moving down the walkways, the library looks...
I love it. Elgavar doesn't, but that's fine.
absolutely grand. It looks like it stretches about 20 stories in either direction, both up and down, with a series of pillars and colonnades off to the side, with the walkway you're on leading towards the main entrance. And as you get close, you see the elegant glass windows portraying a couple of scenes with stained glass. And similar to the administration building, the doors are large carved oak. These ones don't have any glass inlays, but similarly open quite easy. And inside, there's a large open space with a long stretching wooden desk, sort of in a half moon direction, facing towards the door with a couple of attendants behind it. a series of students with books trying to check out. And to either side of you, large carvings of two silver dragons sort of holding the ceiling up as the entryway ceiling stretches about 3 stories up.
Great.
I love this place. I look around and
Mhm.
you can see a broad smile on Elgavar's face. I think this is probably the first time that you've seen him smile since you've known him. Maybe the second when he got his armor to work for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things you don't see very often. I'm usually a neutral or scowl.
Yeah.
Like me.
Passenger similar. Yeah. Passenger similar. It is usually pretty neutral, emote wise, and same here, right? Passenger couldn't possibly care less about libraries. Very much unlike Amanda, Passenger is not, can appreciate it for what it is, for the edifice that it is, and for everything that it represents. But there is a deep bitterness here in relation to the accumulation and hoarding of such knowledge and wealth.
Hmm.
And seeing all of this is just further cementing all of their feelings about that. Those statues could have, like the work and effort and funds and resources that went into making those statues could have gone to making the dust district better. But seeing Elgavar happy, Passenger will give him a quick pat on the shoulder, and I think that's probably all the more energy that they have to dedicate to that right now.
Fair.
Stride toward the desk, asking for the ancient history section.
The attendant,
Quietly.
she is of half-orc descent. Her hair is tied back in a braid, and she's got very neat robes on. Of course, the ancient history section, if you follow the pathway behind me, there will be a series of stairs leading downward. The ancient history section has an entire section dedicated to it, so it'll be hard to miss.
I give her a nod and start heading that way.
She
Kind
nods
of
back.
that, yeah. I'm kind of assuming that Elgavar and I are going to end up separated to some degree. That just happens often in big old places like this. And
Probably.
trusting that he just has the same information that I just got. I'm
Yeah.
gonna head that direction.
I'm heading in that direction, just probably much slower and
Mhm.
just. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's this?
Roll
Ooh, what's
me
this?
both of you can, roll me perception checks.
Oof. Okay. Well, that's an 8.
And that's a 3.
Oof. Both of you can tell
I'm
it
not.
feels very
I'm.
comfortable in here.
Mhm.
I'm looking around. I'm not paying attention to what I'm looking at. I'm just everything.
Yeah.
I am too enamored to. And Moose, remember how I winced when I said I got a 4 and I thought the map was upside down?
Yeah.
Now I got a 3. What do you think that means I rolled?
Nice. Good rolls today,
Well,
huh?
Oh, great. About as good as my roll to keep food on the counter.
Yeah. The path leading to the stairs is easy enough to follow. Shelves stretch out for quite a ways in either direction on either side of you, passenger, but behind the desk, as you were directed, it leads towards a very ornate series of stairs going up and down with fixtures sort of hanging from various barely noticeable wires and lines to create effects going in either direction to give a bit of an artsy appeal to it. if you look up, you can see right up near the very top, there's some grand bit that you can't really see. And then going down, looks almost like the Starry Night, just glittering bits hanging in midair.
Yeah.
Uh,
Are these sorry? Go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
Are the sections labeled? Are the bookcases labeled? Is there any indication of where I'm headed and in what?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I rolled an 8. I get it, but
Each
got to
floor
be some
has
kind of
labels
accuracy.
for just general navigation. The bookshelves themselves have, a fairly categorical labeling system where it's like the first 3 letters of what you would assume to be last names and then a series of numbers as well. But once you get to the stairs, they have actual labels, and the floor you're on is entrance and contemporary.
I'll just do a scan. Um, see, guess I didn't get any more like specific information about this guy. Fuck, I should have asked what he looked like, and I definitely didn't. I'll look around and see if I can find an older gentleman who looks real into books, and also he is in like the ultra super premium school colors or whatever.
Elgvar, are you how far behind would you say you're tailing?
Probably about 100 feet or so.
Okay.
Like trying to keep up, but like actually looking at titles and whatnot. And
Mm-hmm.
Passenger,
Yeah, what?
once you... What was that?
I was being a troll. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Please
gotcha.
continue.
Once you get to the lower floor labeled Ancient History, you see that the shelves are more classically designed. They're not elegantly carved. They're just hard-lined wood chains along the shelves to keep books from falling. And it still feels quite comfortable, but it's almost like they were going for an atmospheric feel for the Ancient History. And similarly, you see almost no one down this far. You pass a couple of slightly older students, probably late 20s, of various races. They look a little frazzled, and they're all very invested in what they're reading. And each has at least a stack of, 5 other books that they've got with them. And as you're walking along, you see a sitting area with a couple of tables lit by a hanging lantern that runs on oil, and a stack of books, and a very plain-looking elderly man sitting at the table.
Was I told what this headmaster's name was, or did I just accept headmaster and roll with it?
We'll say the dwarf mentioned the headmaster's
in the
name is...
pamphlet, it's in the pamphlet.
Yeah.
Yes, I pull out the pamphlet. Look for the name of the headmaster.
It is Headmaster Engleby.
Ingleby?
Engleby. Engleby. Engleby.
Angle D. Angled B. Okay. Ingleby. Okay. I
Mr. Dangle.
I will approach and just Headmaster Engleby.
As you get close, you see the old man who, bald head, very wizened-looking face. To the best guess you can make, he's probably at least in his late 80s, maybe early 90s.
What race?
Human.
Okay, interesting.
Very old.
Yeah.
Let's see. Actually, I have a picture. But he looks up from the book, blinks a little bit as his eyes adjust. Good evening. What can I do for you?
I was told you might be able to, well, you might be a little more sympathetic to what I came here for than the admissions office was. I'll pull out a chair and sit next to him.
Well, it's not very hard to be more sympathetic than the admissions office. They care about two things: numbers and how much they can make off of numbers.
So, technically, more numbers.
More numbers, yes. Pardon me for trying to be clever. But
No, I appreciate the cleverness.
what can I help you with? If it was having to do with the admissions office, I would be able to venture a guess that it involves a prospective student.
At least one, yes. And specifically, it has to do with the
Us district.
bar to entry, shall we say?
Yes, the past few decades they've been trying to tighten the noose around admissions. Fewer and fewer seem to get in, but the standard, as they like to point out, goes up.
At this point, I enter the conversation. I'm deep in a book, and I'll go, "Hey, passenger, did you know this guy wrote about the stuff that my armor is doing?"
The headmaster? No, the book that you're holding. Okay, well, I will put a book. I will grab, I don't know, a silver, toss it into the book where he's at, close the book, and set it aside. Pull Elgvar into the conversation. You can read it later.
A good
The
day, young man.
It said the words don't go anywhere.
Yeah, no, it
You
was
all
fascinating.
have curious appearances. I would imagine you are a part of House Vex, but I can't say for you, young man.
Oh, that's all right. I'm not from around here at all, anywhere.
He cocks an eyebrow, deepening the wrinkles on his forehead. Well, I imagine that would make a very interesting conversation. Now, the prospective student. Huh?
Not me. No. Oh, no, me. Not no.
As much as I was figuring, the details?
Students.
In
Plural.
the Dust District, we stopped by an orphanage as part of our other regular business enterprises. And we noticed at least one youth there that had an oddly abnormal amount of innate magical talent.
Ah, is that so?
And given that it's not from book learning that it's probably out in the Dust District, it's the sort of talent that needs to be curated and taught to be controlled. And if left unchecked, might become problematic later in the future.
Ah, I see.
We figured who best to learn to control magical talent than, say, an academy?
And I can see why the admissions office was hesitant to approach the matter.
And Passenger is already angry, already bristling, just already ready to put this man in his place. I don't mind Sliver right away, but man, I've got it in my back pocket and I am ready.
It, as such, I would imagine you would be suggesting we take a look at the student and offer
Bare
them some
minimum
sort
send
of outreach program.
bare minimum send somebody out there and verify what I'm saying.
Could you write down the details for the orphanage's location?
Yeah, and I will pull out a pen and ink because I actually carry that on me,
Hmm.
and I will scribble it down on some sort of scratch paper that I'm assuming is at this table.
Oh, he's got plenty. He's
Yeah.
got notes all around him and has a wealth of scratch paper rolled up in scrolls.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
very well.
I will give him that information.
Yeah. And while you're writing, I think Passenger will just lean in a little um, to point out the wild differences between the people who grew up with the opportunity to come to a place like this and the people that we're talking about, not just a child, but maybe generations of children who have been ignored. And when this magical talent crops up, instead of getting to use it and hone it and make something of it, they've just ended up working in the mines because that's all that they have the opportunity to do. Or
Inclined to
we're
agree.
ending up dead because that's a very real reality for them there.
Now, sadly, it might be a bit tough to push a scholarship thing, but he holds up a crooked finger. There are ways to circumvent the admissions office. Thankfully, as headmaster, I still hold on to some amount of authority around here. He takes the directions Elgavar wrote down, rolls them up, and puts them into a pocket in his robes. I will hold on to this and send out a colleague of mine. He has been looking for a young ward as of late. So if nothing else, we can start off on a good foot there. Try to expand.
Yes,
what about
I'm
an
not sure if the boy is ready for hard studies yet. He's only 7 or 8,
Yeah, of
but
course. It's around the same age I came to the academy.
well, then you would know.
and if the optics of it are something that are concerning, what about something like an annex, right? And you mentioned an outreach program, but scooping these children out of the thing that's familiar for them and into the opulence that we're surrounded by isn't necessarily going to make for a better experience, or at least it's not going to make them. I suppose it would be a better experience materially, but what if we made the what if we gave them access to what they need where they are?
That would be tricky for an entirely different section of politics. If just because the academy here, our boundaries are that we are an independent
Mm-hmm.
establishment, whereas the Dust District is a part of the Dwarven Kingdoms.
They
To
do want to be independent.
establish an annex there, we would need to navigate a series of pitfalls. as it were. The dwarven families are very protective of what we get our hands on. Anything we start to use, they feel like they've lost.
You would think that they would take care of what they have, and if that was the case.
That is a can of worms of a discussion.
Anyway, can you help these kids or not?
I believe I can. Unfortunately, not as many as would be preferable, but since you've got me a specific location and specific person, I believe I can help them. And from there, we can see about opening up the door a bit more.
That's certainly a good starting point.
As of late, I'm a little hamstringed as far as my capabilities go. So, I will do what I can. I promise you that.
It is appreciated.
Yes, I wouldn't be much of a headmaster if I didn't try to expand on the initial goal of the founder. Is there anything else I can help you with?
If I'm a student, can I check out a book? If I'm not a student, can I check out a book?
With a degree of collateral, just the fact that our students are able to is the fact that we have information on how to get the books back.
Right.
As you're not a student, we would need a certain degree of confirmation that we would be able to get it back.
Right. Thank you.
Of course.
But we have a few hours before we need to get back. I imagine you can read at least. Oh, I guess I don't know how quickly you read, but you could read some amount of literature while you're here.
I take it you're a fan of reading. Is there any particular aspects that interest you? I might be able to point you in the right direction.
I just hold up the book that is got a page marked and whatnot, and go.
Mhm.
I take the innate magic that is around me and force it into common tools that anyone can use.
In that case, you would probably be interested in some of the more contemporary expansions on the god Thorn.
I take my silver back.
Yes, I'm more of a fan of the Dragon Cauldron myself, but that's because I like the introductions of ancient history. It's fascinating seeing one built from the ground up. There'd probably be a couple of books similar to the one that you've got here. But that's more the theoretical approaches to the builders than any concrete analysis.
Oh. Sorry. You do your thing.
Do you have something? Anything I could direct you towards?
I'm going to pull out the other signet ring that I have.
The
I'll
other?
say, what can you tell me about the Sigma Consortium?
He raises both of his eyebrows at that. Holds out his hand. May I?
I drop it into his palm.
He picks it up and examines it.
I will give him a brief overview of the stuff that has been of the adventures that we have had bumping into these folks so far.
The Sigma Consortium is based around in trying to think of how to phrase this. The signet on it, the fiery dragon in the shape of an S, is based around a contemporary of the dragon Kovrin, the first dragon, in an attempt to help populate the world and make it a bit more natural. The second dragon was a red dragon. They felt that bringing dragons of color to balance out the dragons of metal would be a good approach. And the second dragon, let's see, I wrote the name down somewhere. Just need to find it.
I imagine this is the headmaster looking through the notes that he's been taking just as he's been researching this very subject.
I had it on the top of my head somewhere. It was, oh god, I hate trying to pronounce dragon names. Sevusius.
All right.
That is Sevussiss.
ASS.
The headmaster sighs a bit. Yes.
Yes.
They took to the ring with the standard dragon approach to New World, and immediately tried to establish a horde of great proportions, where Kovrin established. He holds his hands out around him. Sevusius established great wealth and was a right menace on the blossoming new world that was Elysia. Plaguing kingdoms, harassing settlements, taking what wealth was just now being generated, wanted to be the center of wealth, wanted to be the most glittering object on this ring. And the Sigma Consortium came some years after the fact, and following the same premise, they wanted to consolidate the concept of wealth on the ring. They wanted to effectively become a dragon's horde. Now, some rumors began to speculate and circulate that the Sigma Consortium was in fact being run by Sevusius. Now, this is hogwash, as Sevusius was getting up there in age when they were brought to the ring. And so the thought that they might still be alive at this point would put them at positively ancient. Yeah, I know, Waffles, right?
Very scary. What a monster.
Now, simply put, the Sigma Consortium is purely speculation at this point. Now, it's got enough evidence, he says, holding up the ring, in a number of areas that one could put them as a legitimate risk. But many kingdoms feel they have more important things to worry about than a boogeyman, so to speak. Now, I'm not saying that's my personal opinion on the matter, just offering up the academic approach.
Hmm.
Now, obviously, I much more appreciate Kovrin's approach to dragon hordes, such as the books you see around you. It was a lot more beneficial. But if you've come across that ring, I would recommend care, if just because it suggests that the world is getting a bit more dangerous these days.
Hmm.
And if they really are being headed by an ancient dragon, well, then there's going to be cause for concern.
Passenger will shake themselves a little bit, like having not fallen asleep, but like definitely starting to like having a hard time like holding attention a little bit, just a little bit.
That's fair. He's very lectury.
Oh my god. Sorry. Anyway. Um, and they'll be like, all right, so Modern Thieves Guild is using a story to give themselves more weight. Got it. Thank you.
Effectively.
I will take the ring back, provided he is offering it, regardless of
As
whether
soon as you hold your hand out, he places it back.
it goes right back in the pocket. And I guess the only other thing I would ask about is the oh god, what's his name? Skarnir.
Just saying. Ah, Skarnir.
And if he knows, like, looked at me and saw my ring and knew I was from the Vex family, he would know that, like, I'm coming at this from a that can't possibly be real, right? Kind of standpoint.
Like,
Because if, specifically because if the Skarnir has appeared, my family should be in on that knowledge. Like, we should probably know before anybody else.
that would stand to reason. Now, we don't actively take part in the search or more contemporary bits. We have a section dedicated to the histories and accomplishments of past Skarnirs. But internal workings, I wouldn't be able to offer you anything. Now, I have heard similar rumors, but that comes around every new generation of Skarnir. Of, oh, when was the new one seen? The race, what fighting style they use, all sorts of speculation. I believe down in some of the taverns, they even have a betting pool going on for them. Now, I will say that none of the rumors we've heard have ever really come across as concrete. It's mostly a lot of rumor mill based around the growing strains of the Elven nations right now. And the thought that one of the warships they've got is named after one of the past Skarnirs. That, in all likelihood, It's just them using a venerated name to have clout. I wouldn't put any weight on there being an actual Skarnir on board.
Excellent. That was exactly what I had figured. Just wanted to verify from someone a little more who might have more background
Of
or
course.
might have, paid attention in history.
Yes, it's a terrible thing, the passing of the previous one, but it's always exciting to see what the new one might be.
Wait. Remind me what happened to the previous one?
He died in a shipwreck.
Hmm.
He was a good-natured fellow as far as past Skarnirs go. Stout halfling, very friendly,
Mm-hmm.
made a lot of efforts to improve the well-being of the general populace.
Hmm. Yep, tragic. And anybody looking can see that passengers' patience has near run out by this point. They are like not bouncing in place exactly, but they're starting to get a little like tap 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 tap.
Engelby smirks a bit, recognizing that posture from a couple of students waiting for the bell to ring after class.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
I turn to Elgabar.
I'm good. Thank you.
Of course. Safe travels.
I will head back through the shelves and put the book back where I found it.
All right.
Did you read anything good? Find
Well,
any
my
new
research isn't as unique as I thought it was, but
Hmm.
people have done what I have done before on this world, which means it's not that weird.
That's true. But still very cool.
Elgavar, roll me a perception check.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I'm not good at those, boss.
You suddenly noticed you have died.
Oh god.
You were dead the whole time.
Bum, bum, bum.
Come on, perception check. Please roll well for me. That's my best roll all night, and that's a 9.
Oh.
My passive is a 12.
Just a second. All right. Stan,
Yeah.
as you're walking, you put away the book on past bits of mechanical theory, and you notice a sort of small book off to the side of it, kitty corner near where your hand is, titled The Wayfarer War and the Concept of Ancient Firearms.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm going to snag it and like start perusing through it very quickly.
It is a theoretical book discussing the fact that some of the individuals that were a part of the Wayfarer ship that came from the stars had these handheld objects that were metal in nature and shot out starlight. And the theory that while the technology was lost when the Wayfarers left, the wreck of the Vilros Mere could, in theory, contain lost bits of technology, but nobody has ever tried venturing inside to find it.
Vilros Mirror, huh?
You would have heard it in mentioned. It's at this point a cursed mountain range where it was a ship the size of a moon that crashed into the world.
Okay.
A number of souls were lost on board when it exploded to bring it, to an end, and a number of them possess similar technology.
Wreck the size of a moon that crashed into the mountain range.
Well, it became a mountain range.
Nima Mountain Range. All right. Something to check out later.
And everyone was all like, "That's no moon." Ha 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 ha.
Lol. We
Go
could
ahead.
hang out and do some reading if you want, since we've got a few hours before we have to go back.
Oh, maybe just a one or two. And I'm just gonna grab 2 more books and just start devouring as much as I can.
Yeah, passenger will wander the stacks and just chit chat with people that they interact with. Just
All
see
right.
what they're studying and if they can find anything interesting.
Gotcha. A number of people that you find sort of look at you with a little bit of they're slightly startled, like somebody's talking to me down here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just while passenger is aware of the etiquette of a library, they have very little respect for this establishment.
It's
right? First of all.
less. One of the ones that you're talking to, you get the impression that it's less that it's you talking in a library and more that they're just historical doctorate students, and they don't usually get people chatting with them.
Oh yeah, I am killing time. I will get them started on a subject and let them talk.
All right. They start talking, and I am going to cut over to Obsidian and Marston for a bit.
Certainly.
Because as much as I love talking about lore and stuff, I also don't want to leave
Tell
them
us about
sitting
the
off
lore.
to the side.
The lore.
That image was fucked.
I enjoy these bits just because it's I spent a long time building a world. I get to talk about it. Yay.
Well, we're here
yeah.
for it.
I also don't want you guys just sitting off to the side. You didn't want to come to the academy, but I can think of some stuff for you guys to do.
Fair enough. Okay. Get ready for combat. We're being boarded.
The rats are
Absolutely.
back. They have come to take revenge.
Hell yeah.
So are the both of you staying? Would you have been staying on the Endurance? Or venturing out into the town, socializing a bit, just killing time while you're in port?
What was what time do they pull up the gangplank? Or wait, no, we're not even on the docks. We have to take a boat out.
Yeah.
When's last call to get back to the ship?
Probably about a couple hours after nightfall. It's been pretty lenient here in port just because they're we're not going anywhere in particular, so we'll let people socialize a bit.
Yeah, probably wouldn't spend the whole time on the ship. I got nothing to do. So maybe just find a nice bar or eatery. It's not too crowded. We've been in town here for a week and a half.
About 5 days at this point.
Oh, okay. I thought it had been longer.
Actually, a solid week.
Okay.
Because you were here for a couple days and then spent about a day and a half traveling, a day and a half in the city.
Yeah.
It's
Well, because
been
there was
about
there was
7
like
days.
days gaps sometimes between like because there was the festival and then we had to wait for that to actually do the
Yeah,
trip
'cause,
to the
like,
city.
The first bit was a span of about 3 days, giving you time to then do the trip outside of the city, which took about a day and a half. That's 4.5. Inside the city, about another day and a half.
Okay, so like just over a
6,
week.
and then here, so it's about a week. We'll say.
All right. Yeah. So I suppose we've I've maybe got like a spot that I know maybe by this point somewhere a little out of the way.
Yeah, a couple of taverns and pubs that are slightly less frequented by the slightly disgruntled sailors that are making up the general population here in town right now. Bjorn, or Obsidian now, I suppose. Are you tagging along or doing something different?
Well, I guess before we potentially depart, I'll just ask Marston. So, you wanna like rob someone or something?
Casually, you want to rob somebody.
Yeah,
Is this on the ship or in town?
it's kind of near an alleyway, maybe somewhere near the docks, wherever
sorry,
we were gathered before we departed.
Sorry, I'm not sure I follow. You were suggesting we just go into town and commit some random crimes for no reason?
Oh, they're not random. I mean, people here have money. We gotta. I mean, don't you want to increase your funds? I want to. My pockets are light.
So not random. I guess you mean you've already scoped out a location, done some surveillance work, got all the
No,
details ironed out.
absolutely not. No.
Okay, sounds
not.
like you're saying a random target then.
It sounds like I need to go talk to a guy, but we can get a target real quick.
Which guy and why exactly?
You don't need to know his name, but I don't know. I mean, just
Oh.
you want to have some fun.
And it doesn't sound like you need to know if I'm gonna help.
I mean, you can help me if you want. It's gonna happen. I mean, if you really don't think it's a good idea, my other option is I can go cut purses and pretend to be a beggar on the street. That was my go-to back in the day, but
I mean, this is your neck of the woods. Is any particular reason you thought, hey, I think Marston
Yeah.
would help me rob some random individuals?
You look like a slick guy. You look like you can get things done.
Exactly. I get things done. I talk to
Yeah.
people. I have meetings. I make sure the wheels keep spinning.
Yeah,
I'm not exactly a cut purse.
You spin the wheels and I steal the deals, and then we make some money.
I kind of like. I'm assuming I kind of glance around, looking to see, how
Nobody's
private.
listening here. There's nobody
Oh.
around here that cares.
Wait, where are we? I thought we were still on the ship.
No,
Okay, where are we?
like
It's like
near an
walking.
alley near the docks.
Care to share some more details here?
I mean, I don't have all the details right now. We got to go talk to a guy.
How about this? I'll hear your guy out, and I'll go from there. But
Yeah.
honestly, this sounds shady as hell.
Well, that's the business that we're into, isn't it? I mean, come on. You're smarter than that. I followed you before. You're into some weird shit.
Really
I'm trying to
now?
include you. Maybe you'll include me in the future. I don't know.
I'm curious. Have you seen me robbing random individuals, just
No,
wandering
I've
about?
seen you shaking hands and exchanging money.
Yeah, those are deals. I'm a businessman.
Yeah, that's the second part of my venture here today. The second part, after we acquire the goods, we shake hands and make deals.
I fucking love this.
All right. Like I said, I'll hear this out, and that's as far as I'll go. as far as I'll agree to at this junction.
All right. I hope the gods that be have names and people prepared because I'm gonna go ask about things, and I'm gonna go to that bar
Sounding
that I went
shaky and
to.
shaky, son.
That
I
was
w-
quite the fourth wall break.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a little bit of Wade Wilson in this character. Okay. Um, so yeah, that bar that I went to. Um, I think it was like our second night in port. The less reputable one with that bartender I knew. I want to go talk to that bartender again.
All right. You get there.
I think it was called Strawberries. I don't know.
Rawberry.
You get to the bar. It's called the Strawberry Seal.
Wait, was I right?
No, but it is now.
All right, perfect.
I mean, we're probably just at some random bar. I doubt.
And
I
seal is
doubt we.
spelled like the the animal, the strawberry seal.
Oh no, sorry. It's the good note.
Oh, the good note. There we go. Yeah.
Yes,
So
I
the good
actually
note.
have that. I have that in my notes. It's the good note. Yeah,
Because
so I make
everybody that
I
left
make
would just be like, well, on a good note, we had drinks here.
yeah. So we head over to the good note.
You walk in. The bartender you saw before isn't there. There is a woman behind the counter who she's got her hair is tied back. It looks, salt and peppery. A lot of white and gray with a little bit of black flecked in there. She doesn't look particularly old. Younger than you, but you're a gnome, so that's not saying a ton. And she greets you and like, good day. What can I help you with?
Uh, hello, Darcy. How are you?
Roll a d20.
5.
You don't recognize this woman.
I could have sworn that was you.
You well, looking around, you see Marston raising an eyebrow in your direction.
She raises an eyebrow too. Is like, I'm not Darcy, dear.
You sure?
Yes, I'm Lainey.
I'll have to remember that for next time. You can hear the dip in accents as he's like, "Uh-oh, I don't know you. Shit, better go back to my street urchin like accent." Um, well, where's front desk Joe?
He's off today, because as it happens, he doesn't work every hour of every day.
That's bullshit. He's always here when I get here. Hmm.
He has a life outside of work, as it happens.
Unacceptable. 2 whiskeys.
Very well. Just for you, or will your friend be having something different?
Oh, the other one was for him.
I was making a joke.
Okay.
I whistle.
You need to work on your delivery.
You need to work on your reception. She pours the 2 whiskeys.
You got-
as I take them, I will go. I receive them just fine.
I stage whisper to Obsidian. You got about 30 seconds to turn this around, or I'm walking out that door.
All right. As this is definitely the disreputable place I know it to be, because my usual guy's not here. Is there anybody else who I would know could hit me up with a little local intel?
Well, roll me an insight.
Ugh. 7.
You got a strong hunch that most bartenders are going to be fairly competent at giving information. It all depends on what information you're trying to get.
Well, she works here, and this place is the place that it is. So even if she's not my normal contact, I have probably spoken to her before. So Laney,
She leans on the counter. Yes.
who in town's got pockets a little too heavy for their belts?
Well, I
What-
mean, the administrators, as always.
Anybody that wouldn't mind missing a few coins, an item or two?
I'm sure everybody minds missing a few coins or two. That's said,
What?
Who wouldn't notice?
Probably some of the dock officials. But if you're interested in some more appealing pockets, the current flavor around town is there is an influx of floating storage houses just out there in the bay with nowhere to go and nowhere to send their stock. Some people have taken it upon themselves to help relocate some of that stock.
Kind of goods we talking about?
Depends on the floating storage house you approach. They've got all sorts from all around the ring.
I'll look at Marston. What do you think we could pick up and ship out quickly and easily, huh? What does your professional expertise tell you?
Unless you have a agreement with the quartermaster and possibly the captain, I don't think you're getting anything on the ship without it being noticed. So I imagine the final execution part of this plan's still a bit shaky. And the planning stages are sort of up in the air as well.
It's a
You do bring
little
up a
higher
good point.
difficulty rating just because you don't have an easy egress. It's hard to run away from when you're on a boat.
Yeah, that's true. What's something landlocked, on the shores? That's a little bit easier hit.
Well, the boring option is there's a traveling merchant who just rolled into town. He has a room at a local inn, and word is that he likes to store his various goods inside the room when he's partaking in some evening entertainment.
Does that sound like a good hit? Sorry, looking at Marston. How do you feel about that one?
I mean, I'm still a little confused as to what we're doing here. Throwing daggers at the wall, darts at the board. It seems like this is a bit ill-conceived. I know this is our last night in town, but do we really need to be getting up to some shit before we hit the road? Hit the skies, rather.
Why wouldn't we? That's the best time to do it, when you're about to leave.
If there's a plan, not some sort of ripshod out of nowhere scheme cooked up in the imaginations of a bored afternoon.
That is the way I operate, sir.
Well, that is not the way I operate. So I believe that is your 30 seconds, and I'll be seeing you back on the ship unless you get arrested.
Mm. It is a distinct possibility, but you know what? I'm gonna have some extra coin at night.
That's fine by me.
All right, you go do your shady business.
I chuckle and walk out.
Turn back to Laney. He really doesn't. I don't know if he believes me that I followed him one time. Um, he is into some shady shit. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I offered to take part of it, and I could help him. Guy doesn't want any help, I tell you.
In his defense, most of people that approach for various jobs have a slightly larger window. The turnaround rate, considering it sounds as though you're leaving sometime tomorrow, that is quite expedited as far as a lot of these ventures go. So he's got a bit of a point there.
I mean, if I stole something here, I could fence it somewhere else, right? I don't have to sell it here. That would be just so obvious.
Depends on what you're able to sneak past your quartermaster.
I can keep anything in my bunk that I want, I think. I don't have to turn everything in.
Not been a sailor for very long, have you?
I'm not a sailor. I am a delivery boy.
Now, there is something to be said about personal effects, but most ships, and particularly ship captains, can take offense to their vessels being used for illicit purposes, especially when they're unaware of said purposes.
Did you hear what I said about the shit that my companion is into? The ship is already implicated in smuggling purposes.
And it sounds like he has a venue for
Maybe not.
accomplishing it. Are you a part
Maybe.
of that venue?
No, I was trying to get on board with his crew and his dealings and help him and earn some money from it, but he didn't. He wouldn't take me into his crew.
Is that what that was? Because that was a very bad job interview.
Look, we didn't say Obsidian interviews well, okay?
I mean, I guess we technically do know that your original ship interview didn't actually go that smoothly either.
I am
Might I
throwing shit out the
recommend,
wall.
rather than trying to bring him along on a spur-of-the-moment venture, see about tagging along on one of his.
I already do that. He just doesn't know.
Then you're not really making yourself an asset. If you want to be a part of his crew, you need to be an asset.
I see what you're saying. Okay, that makes sense. You know what? The way you're setting it up and laying it down, that makes sense now. Okay. You've given me a lot to think about. Anyway, quick smash and grab job. Where? What's the bet? You know what? You've given me some names to think about. I'll go find something.
Last I checked, I haven't actually given you any names yet.
I'll figure it out. Then I'll drink the whiskey and leave the bar.
You are a wonderful credit to everything that you stand for, Obsidian.
Well, that's the case, then I wish you well, Obsidian Edelhairs.
I already walked away. Goodbye. All right. Yeah, what's the Who's like the fourth richest person in town?
The fourth richest.
Where is the house of like the fourth wealthiest person in town? I'm gonna make my way in that general direction.
That would be the probably, let's see, the dock administrator would be probably second or third richest. So you would want the dock administrator's assistant.
Okay, perfect.
The man that handles the day-to-day affairs while the actual dock administrator sits in his office.
And at this time of day, people should be out and about, right?
One would assume.
Okay. I'm gonna find the house, do some recon, and scope it out for
Some nefarious actions.
like no, that's my part. For like an hour or two. I'm gonna assuming I already know some things about this person. Is it a guy and like married, like kids, like what kind of household servants, stuff like that?
Roll me roll me an intelligence check.
My dice is shit today. That's a 7.
You are familiar with the dock administrator, but you're not familiar with the dock administrator's assistant.
All right. Well, I'll take like an hour or two to kind of make it just like, I have my magic to use a disguiser, so, and I'll kind of walk along the block multiple times over the course of like 2 hours and observe the house. I am looking for a time when it looks like people are not there, like when people have left. And then I'm gonna try and get in there and steal some shit.
The house is a nicely designed, let's see, Ossifixian Revival architectural style. And
You just put those words together, didn't you? You have no idea what that means.
I do actually, because I am basing it off of American Revival, which is a
Expanded architecture. You think he doesn't know what he meant by that?
I don't see
I knew that he
being
knew what he meant.
architecture.
I knew that he knew that I have no idea what he meant by
Look,
that.
There's two things I know: food and buildings.
No, I know. I'm just giving you shit because I can, man. Okay.
Did I
All
pull
right.
it out of my butt? Yes. But yes,
I
it
am
is
a DM. I know butt pulling when I see it.
So, on the downspin side of the city, as the buildings start to go up and into the hillside a bit, you get into a more residential and less densely populated part of the city. And you get to an area that is the more upper crust part of the residential area, where everybody is some type of official or has some type of degree. And you get to the address marked for the dock master's assistant. Their name is Kingridge. And the house, it's nice, not overly large, not overly assuming the way that you know the dockmaster's house is. And from the best that you can see, it only has 2 housekeepers that are currently at work.
Wonderful. If that's the only couple of like folks I can see in and around and about the house, I am going to, after like my 2-ish hours of scouting, in which time I have planned an escape route that does, in case need be, that does not lead back to the ship or anywhere that would be obvious for me to hide.
Roll me a
Um,
straight d20.
I need to stop using this fucking dice. That's a 1.
All right. I've got
That's
a
4
idea
shitty
for
rolls.
your escape route in mind.
Right. Hopefully that was just a directionally based roll and not like a is it a good route roll? Because
Your
boy howdy
your your escape route goes directly through the local constabulary.
Boy,
that.
howdy. You will find out.
It's all right. I can change my face.
I changed my mind, so
Um,
I changed my face.
yeah. I mean, I figure a good disguise has to count for something.
That's from Battlefield Baseball, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Obsidian, what is your disguise?
Um, my disguise going in is they got a garden out front.
They do. It's not as
All right.
large as the garden out back, but the front is nicely manicured. It's got a walkway with a couple of shrubs coming up, and along the side there is a fence line that has some vining flowery plants, where on the inside there's a small little sitting area where the dockmaster's assistant and his wife and one child with their dog can sit down and wave to the less well-to-do people walking past.
Whoa, a dog. Okay, do I see that? I gotta figure out. I gotta make sure that this dog is not in the house.
You've not
Or
seen the
do I?
dog.
Hmm. All right. Well, if I know there's a dog, I'll make sure to. I'll make sure I have some treats or something handy to distract said dog. Um, I will look like a gardener.
All right.
I will kind of approach the gardens, and I will do like a quick rotation of the outside of the house, looking for yeah, walk around the outside. I will like look for gardening supplies if there are any,
There
purely
are
just to
none.
like pick it up, purely just to like pick up a tool or two and walk around, and while I look for a good entry point. Um,
Roll me an insight check there, Obsidian.
a little bit better. That's 11.
Why would the dockmaster's assistant keep tools for the help to use? They should bring that themselves.
Sir, stop that shit. Um,
Tools
all
just
right then.
clutter up the space. If they need something done, they hire it.
But they don't have a shed out back or anything.
Of course not. Those are an eyesore. It would disrupt the garden.
In that case, I'm just gonna look like a gardener and walk around, act like I'm doing my job, but I'm looking in windows, seeing if I can find anything. Oh, what would you say? Like, I don't think like a good. How do I describe this? I mean, most likely a jewelry box or something would be in a bedroom, which would probably be. This is probably like a 2-3 story place,
It's 2 stories.
2 story. So I probably have to get upstairs anyway. I'm looking for like a window or a door near a staircase where I can just pop up real fast.
Roll me a investigation check.
That was a lot of rolling for just shit. That's 8.
You find a window that you think was near the staircase you saw at a previous window.
All right. How busy is this street, by the way?
Well, you're behind the house. The street was, not particularly busy. It's general work hours, and the the sailors that were stuck in port don't come out this way to just wander. So it's fairly deserted.
Alright, so behind the house is pretty darn deserted. You know what? I'm just gonna try and pick a lock and go in the back door.
Okay. Roll me that thieves' tools.
God bless, none of my fucking dice can roll above a 7. Where are my thieves' tools? Pretty sure I have expertise on these too, but let me just double check. No, wait, I did performance and sleight of hand. So thieves' tools, that would just be dex plus proficiency. So 8.
All right. You're really trying for that lock, but it's not given.
Alright, I suppose there's probably no open windows on the base level.
Roll me perception. And while you're rolling that perception, Marston, you find a bar. A nice, comfortable one that you'd seen in passing before. It doesn't get too crowded.
All right.
17.
Yeah, I just I mean my plan before that interesting detour was just to relax somewhere. So I got kind of nothing specific, so I find a nice little corner and just kind of people watch.
All right. Barmaid comes over, takes your order, and offers you a lunch special.
Sounds good to me. Whatever you recommend.
All right. She hustles off, brings you back your drinks as well as a platter of sausages and bread. All right.
Thank you kindly.
She nods. Obsidian. With a 17, the only open window you've seen is on the second story.
I don't have any way to get up there. Yeah, no, I don't have anything. Well, apparently I'm just gonna whistle as I don't work and just walk away from this place.
Walking away, huh?
The dice have told me no.
Yeah, I mean to be
Literally
fair,
the only thing-
he's got a point.
The only thing I got above a
That's fair.
fucking 10 on was to look at a window that was open that I couldn't reach, so this isn't happening. So,
Or you could double down as a true gambler and be like, "Oh well, my luck's got to turn around."
and smash the window. Yeah, I don't. And smash a window in. I don't think so.
Yeah, roll to come up with a plan. Blow it up.
Let's not get arrested our last day in town.
I mean, that was
To
my
be
plan.
fair,
That's
only
going,
one
it's
of you
going
would
well.
get arrested.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm very good at not getting arrested. That's the whole reason I can change my face in like a half a second, or in the span of like 3 to 6 seconds. It's so that I can steal stuff and then dart into an alleyway. Guess I'm just gonna go act like a beggar on the street and cut a purse or two. And I'm not even gonna use Mask of Many Faces for that. I'll just put on my rough looking coat and go and put on my best poor man's down on his luck act. somewhere where snobby, well-to-do people will come by and maybe take pity, and then I can, maybe do the overly gracious "thank you, sir," and then cut a purse.
All right. You're probably gonna hate me for this, but roll me an intelligence check.
19.
19. From your expert opinion on the matter, you know not to stick to some of the main thoroughfares just because you've seen a number of beggars around that area before, so you're probably going to get a reduced amount of income from it just because of how much it's spread about. You are going to want to go a bit off to the side of the docks near the warehouse district where there's plenty of workers passing by, but not a lot of people sitting.
Yeah, perfect. Not looking to steal from anybody who is not wealthy enough for it to, like, I don't want to steal from somebody that can't afford to be stolen from.
All right. Roll me a d10.
Ooh, a D10. 4.
4. All right. You come away with, let's say, 8 gold worth of between
Beggared coins.
silver, a bit of gold, some coppers. But you're out there for a decent amount of time and are able to put on a good enough act paired with the fact that you made a good call on where to sit.
Yep.
All right. At this point, I will switch back to Elgavar and Passenger. A couple hours have passed. Elgavar, you have gotten a nice chunk of reading in from from probably the deepest well of books that you've had the chance to see, at least here on the ring, if not elsewhere.
All right. I've at least taken some notes. Probably some sketches of the firearms that I've seen. To aid my design. Anything else though? I think has been just kind of overall okay.
All right. Anything else you would like to take care of while you're here in the library?
I don't think so.
All right.
Have I picked up any obscure lore?
If I was a wizard, I'd be like pouring through books and trying to find spells and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I am not a wizard.
Passenger, roll me a persuasion check.
Ooh. I'm using my inspiration for that.
All right.
No! Oh, come on. Well, not great. I rolled a 2 both times, so 7.
Oof. With a 7, some of the people are more interested in continuing their work than chatting. But you do find a sort of frazzled-haired young woman. She's a bit older than you, big, thick glasses with some books in her hand. She's just very excited to talk about some stuff. Particularly, like, an odd bit of rumor-mongering, considering the location. But ancient history rumor-mongering.
Oh, no. All right.
Specifically, the influence the Dragon Kavran had on this library and the Academy as a whole, but then just one day he decided to just up and leave. Didn't even take his horde with him. Just left.
I am 1000% convinced that that the headmaster is a silver dragon in disguise. I just can't prove it. I will 1000% begin that rumor if it hasn't been circulating already.
You have not heard that rumor, and you are able to start it. Like, as soon as it's brought up, like, the woman's eyes just go wide, and she's like, that kind of makes sense. Maybe.
No, seriously, I just got done talking to him. That guy is definitely a dragon. And let's be real, what dragon anywhere ever has ever left its horde? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. He's here. He's just hiding.
That makes a lot of sense when you say it like that. It's like, he was getting up there in age already, though.
Mm-hmm.
And he left
Well, that's how the world
like
now.
like 1,000 years ago. You would have to be
Yeah.
ancient.
Well, yeah.
How old do dragons get?
Who can say?
She puts her hand to her chin, completely forgetting about her studies.
Yeah. I've ruined this person's life. Her next test is like the make or break one, and she will never be able to think about anything else.
She's got the Charlie Day conspiracy board now.
Gonna be trying to convince other people. And it's like, you've spent too much time down in the lower levels of the library. I love it. Anything else you want to accomplish down
Is that
here?
an accomplishment?
Yes.
I feel like that's an accomplishment. You know what? I'm gonna say yes. No, if that was the most interesting person that was here, and I came up with better rumors than her, I'm just gonna wait for Elgavar and then like meet him up front.
All right. After a couple hours, Elgavar meets you, and you guys are able to make your way back to the tram station. Nobody harasses you as you leave.
I'm presenting.
We did a
It's
good
completely
thing today, I
unbelievable.
think.
I hope that something good comes of it. Can't say I'm optimistic.
Now, I will ask, Elgavar, you returned all the books, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. The trip back is uneventful. By the time you get back to the Grand Market District, a lot of businesses have let out, so there's a number of people milling around. Crowds are returning and finding things to buy for dinner. The smell of food is now once again wafting. But you are able to exit the Grand Market just the same and make your way back to the ship.
Yeah.
Anything on the way back, or everybody adjourning question to the room, not just these two?
I'm ready to head back. I've got nothing else to do.
All right.
Yeah, same.
Side quest accomplished.
Or not.
Hey, I had the house planned out for you.
Yeah, I know. Dice were shit.
Okay. You guys adjourn. Marston, around what time do you return to the ship? Must
I'll
be
just
okay.
make sure I'm there maybe a half an hour before I know I need to be.
Okay. So, usual nightly activities, but tonight feels a little more energetic. Everybody's back on the ship just because in the morning you guys finally get to leave. You guys have been here for better over a week now. It's getting a little stale. The career sailors are getting a little itchy to start moving again. And Piranesi is similarly back on board. All his stuff is accounted for, and he is sitting up near the prow, just smoking on a pipe. As everybody's settling in, talking excitedly, and waiting for tomorrow.
I'll probably approach Piranesi and start swapping stories with him, see how his stay went.
He talks about how he made a couple of good sales, got rid of some of the harder to move trinkets that he usually keeps on hand. In part thanks to some of the idle chit-chat you guys had done like the day before of going past his little stall of trinkets. And we'll even say he added a couple of things to his collection. Like, oh yes, I made a couple of good deals to stuff to bring back once I get to the main shop in Embershire.
Do tell.
Oh yes, nice thing about the Grand Market is there's stuff from all over the place, not to mention crafted things. And the most interesting crafted things to buy are the things made by the up-and-coming craftsmen who are just making things to make things. Like, they don't have bills of sale they need to make, don't have, lists of stuff they need to do. They're just practicing their art. So you get to find them, buy stuff for cheap because they're not even expecting to sell these things. They're just trying to make things. So, get this. He pulls out a silver pocket watch, opens it up. This thing tells time, but not in the standard way of telling time. For one, it's going backwards. And two, it's set up in a different numbering system. Instead of 12s, it's set up in 24s, 48s, and this other bit here, 52. Of all things. Who tells time in metrics of 52?
Messenger is all ears about this.
I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but I'm sure somebody would be like, that's neat.
Looking it over, does it have any magical anything, or is it strictly mechanical?
Do you have detect magic? If so, roll me detect magic. Or do it in... I forget the metrics of what detect magic does.
I can detect magic if you need me
Yeah,
to.
I do not have detect magic or identify. Tragically.
I can ritual cast detect magic.
Yeah. I imagine you
So-
probably hear weird mechanical device and just perk up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably.
if nothing else, I would probably have waved him over. Hey, check this out.
And I just I look at it, and then I flip it over, and then I flip it back again, and I go, and before anything else is said, my first response is, "Who tells time in 52s?"
Exactly! 52s! Like, who
And then-
needs to divide it that way?
And then I
But-
will cast detect magic on it.
Detect magic reveals nothing from the pocket watch. It is purely
It's
mechanical.
Just weird. It's just
Yeah.
weird.
It was a apprentice clockmaker or watchmaker practicing the art and wanting to just make something a little funky.
Cute.
Now, if he had used odd numbers instead of even numbers, I would have upped the price. But it still evens, so it's not that bizarre, I suppose.
Not that odd.
Yeah, still has dysfunction.
I'm sure somebody will find it interesting. Make it a gag gift for a white elephant ceremony or whatever those things are. Elgavar, though, your detect magic does show 2 other magical bits coming from his little trinket box.
I'm going to single those out one at a time.
He pulls them out. One of these I've had for a while. I just was trying to sell it. The other I picked up from a student coming from the academy area. He holds up the new item, and it looks like a little orrery.
A little what?
Orrery, like the orrery.
So,
like
The
someone
constellations
an
and
aurora.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, what is it? The solar system models in orrery. Is that what they're called?
ORREY. Yeah. Oh no, yeah. You know what I mean.
Yeah, in
Uh,
orrery. ORRERY.
Twisty turny bits.
Yeah. He holds up the orrery, having the conversation of how to pronounce orrery in character, just like orrery. And
Sounded like an remix.
an orrery. An auror's orrery.
Oh God. Rural Jura.
Roger.
And so he holds it up, so it can be seen. And the very center of it is a ring. He's like, so there's the Ringworld, Elysia. And best I can figure is these are theoretical nearby celestial bodies. Just because, I mean, we've never been there. So how is he? He's an aura. Who's to say? So it, in theory, aligns in a certain way. And when it aligns just right, it tells you your horoscope for the day. Now,
Why would I
was
want
able
to be afraid of the future?
Oh, it's not like telling your fortune. I tried it out
You
this
said
morning.
it was a horror scope.
Oh, Stan, if you haven't gained inspiration.
You haven't given me inspiration, so I will take it.
I mean, I gave it to you during the recap.
Well,
So unless you used it, you should still have it.
yeah, I guess I didn't use it, but it's here.
Piranesi laughs at that. But yes, I tried it out, and it said I would have a meeting of great importance. And sure enough, I just met you guys tonight, and you told me that this thing is in fact magic, which makes me believe that the horoscope of telling me I would have a meeting of great importance is true.
Passenger
Seems a little
rolls their eyes.
far-fetched. And definitely not at all scary.
Yes. Neat. He pockets it away, stops midway, and holds it up. Unless one of you would like to buy it, I'll give you a discount.
I'm a little short on funds. I bought new armor while I was in town.
I was gonna say, it looks fancy. I like the mask, particularly. You should wear it more often. How about you, passenger? interest you in the orrery?
Passenger has had their eyebrow raised the whole time. What kind of discount are we talking about?
Well, I was still considering what to price it as, so let's make this a discussion. What would you pay for this item?
Not much.
What, you don't like to have an idea of what your day is going to be like?
I have a pretty good idea of what most days are going to be like, but I don't like to read into things like that.
Hmm.
Let's consider for a moment any meeting that you had would do for that horror scope.
Well, I mean, not necessarily. I met some of the other sailors here on board, but they didn't tell me anything of great importance. I suppose the
saying-
nearest next would be the captain saying that we are, in fact, going to be leaving tomorrow morning.
I would say that's of greater import than finding out that this thing is.
Actually working? I'd say that's greatly
Yes.
important. I can upsell it then. Actually magic.
See, that's what I mean, though. You're now looking for moments to ascribe to this thing. It's not working the other way around.
He shrugs. Very well. We will file it away under novelty, which is one of the lower price points. How does the price of 3 gold sound?
More like 3 silver.
Now, I would be open to that, but the materials alone are worth at least 1 gold.
One
So
gold is generous.
So the fact
But I'll
that it's got 1
for
gold
a
worth of
friend.
components, and also does a simple, he makes
That is
quotation marks with his fingers, a simple task, I would put a bit more value onto it. How about 1 gold,
and 1
9 silver?
1 gold and 1 silver?
1
All right.
gold and 6 silver.
Oh, you're trying to be sneaky.
Over
Make it a gold and
silvers,
2 silver.
4 silvers. A man needs to eat.
2.
4.
What if I pout?
You're going to need to pout plenty hard, passenger.
He
I
can.
try to pout really
She's
hard.
already mind slivered one.
Passenger, roll a persuasion check.
All right.
I'm just gonna say she's already mind slivered one bureaucrat Baronese. I wouldn't push her today.
Another one.
Okay. Is that an advantage because they're helping me?
Sure.
Spectacular. So it was a 1, but now it's an 18.
He sighs, rolls his eyes, and says, 1 gold, 3 silver.
Deal. I hand him the money, and I take the stupid orrery.
He hands you the Aura's orrery. Oh man, silliest thing I've come up with. Bar none.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Every morning, as soon as sunlight hits it, you can use an action to have it tell your horoscope for the day.
You know I'm going to ask you to do that every time
I
see him.
do. And believe me, I already have a horoscope generator.
Yes. All right.
It's your horoscope for today. Yay, yay,
Yay,
yay,
yay, yay, yay. That's your horoscope for today. I do love me some Weird Al. What about so what was the other object that I found?
The
Yeah.
other object. Ah, yes, the other object.
So there were two
Ah,
objects that were pinging off of detect magic.
yes, the other object that I will tell you right now is A. He pulls it out of his pocket, and it is a
An orb of
block.
stalling.
Uh,
Oh,
it is a it is a block of stone.
ooh. What sort of aura is the block of stone giving off?
I want to say transmutation.
Okay, change things into other things.
It's a philosopher's stone.
He holds it between two fingers. It's about 1.5 inches on each side. He holds it in front of his chest, and then he lets go of it, and it doesn't fall.
Interesting. I'm just gonna poke it in the air.
It starts to drift in the direction that you poke it, and he grabs it before it drifts too far, and then
Huh.
puts it back where it was.
Does it support any weight?
He takes out a single copper, puts it on, and the stone begins to sink.
So very little
Interesting.
weight.
Best I can figure is it's a rock that has no weight. It's like the opposite of a paperweight. The paper would push up against it. But it's a novelty, which is one of the main things I peddle in. Now, obviously, it's rock. The materials are practically worthless. It serves very little purpose. I'd be willing to part with it for 2 silver.
I propose a different strategy, Piranesi.
Is that so?
Yes. Let's say we dress this rock up a bit, make it a little more fanciful.
Fanciful, you say?
Yes.
I'm
We
Or
can,
you.
all ears.
we can inscribe some runes onto it and maybe make them glow a little bit.
Hmm. Inscribe
And then,
what kind of thing? Like the numbers
complete
1 through 6?
complete nonsense.
Ah,
Perfectly inscrutable nonsense. Anybody that actually knows what they're looking at will see that it's nonsense, and it will still be a novelty item for them. But for
mhm.
an undiscerning eye, they will see a rock that is magical, that floats, that may occasionally glow in different colors, and they might be willing to pay more than 2 silver for it, for which I could assist you and maybe take a cut.
See. Elgavar, have you ever thought of going into sales?
I did. I decided that it was not for me overall.
Because I would be more than happy to hire you on once we get to my new shop.
Hmm.
That being said, I don't. I like fooling people occasionally here and there when it suits me. I wouldn't want to do it full time.
On the subject of fooling people, Obsidian and Marston, what are you guys up to? Whereabouts are y'all?
I'm assuming we're all back at the ship.
Yep. They're all just hanging out
no
on
hiccups
deck.
in that. All right. Um. I'm gonna go down to the cargo bay and just kind of check in on my inventory. Just double check. It's been a few days.
Alright.
inspect it, make sure it's not been opened or tampered with.
Okay. Everything is as it should be. The quartermaster takes care to make sure no packages get tampered with.
All right. If everything looks good, I'll head back up on deck and
All right.
light up an incense. Just kind of enjoy the night breeze
How about you,
coming off the
Obsidian?
ocean.
I'm gonna open and tamper with Marston's stuff. No, I'm just kidding. No, on my way back to the to the ship, I would have bought 10 gold's worth of supplies. He is sad about his lack of a score, so he's gonna buy some supplies and just tinker around with some stuff.
Okay. What kind of tinkering?
I'm just gonna create a little clockwork frog. It says with 10 gold's worth of supplies and an hour, I can create a clockwork animal.
Using what?
Oh.
My rock gnome background.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah. You create a little clockwork frog.
I'm upsetty
Yeah.
spaghetti that Marston didn't want to be my buddy today, so I'm gonna create a little clockwork frog that's gonna wake him up in the middle of the night.
Whoa.
I was gonna say, if nothing else, you could show Piranesi those, and he might buy them off of you.
Mhm.
That comes later. First is a minor irritant to my party member.
I'm gonna
all
sell it
right.
to Piranesi. I'll be like, hey, Piranesi, if anyone else comes around with one of these, know that I patented it and they are selling fakes.
Yeah, because that's right up there with the little clockwork fish that passenger took during
Yep.
the
Oh,
first
yeah.
session.
I still have it. That's my spellcasting focus now.
I love it. All right. But yeah, back on deck with Piranesi passenger and Algvar. Pat words. Piranesi hands the little rock over to Elgavar. Very well. Consider this trial run then. Show me what you could do. Finish it up and bring it back.
All right. I will take it down to my bunk, or I'll actually take it to like the mini workshop that I've set up, where I do my armor repairs and whatnot, and make an Arcana check to mark it up and magic it to Kingdom Come.
Okay.
You would-
Roll me an Arcana check with advantage.
Okay. Switch back to Sidwell. They are both 21.
Pulse 21. All right.
Yes.
You are quite accustomed to tinkering with magical cubes, and are thus able to, even though it's slightly different, you're able to work some finesse into the rock.
Yeah.
And by the time you're
basically just, I will work in like the dwarven or the celestial rune for lift into the
Okay.
design. Because I do speak celestial, but celestial is a language that most people don't know.
Hmm.
Now, are you adding anything like ink or extra stuff onto it that might potentially have weight?
No.
All right. So yeah, once you're finished, you have the inscribed weightless rock.
And then I will present it to Piranesi.
Later on in the night, figure that probably took you maybe an
A
hour
few
or so.
hours. Yeah.
Night's wearing on. You catch him before he's going to, head to his bunk. He takes a look at it, puts it back in the air to make sure it still does the novel thing that it does. Gives an appreciative nod. He's like, all right, I think I could sell this for at least 4 gold at this point. To the right person, of course.
Of course.
So, should I make that sale? I will be sure to give you a cut. Now, I will also ask, what particular cut might you be interested in? It's for a cut of 4 gold, so I'm willing to be lenient.
Say 25%.
25% works. I sell it for 4, you get 1, I take 3.
I mean, you obviously procured the item in the first place. I just stocked it up a bit.
Yes. So, it makes sense that I would get the lion's share, but 25 is a very fair amount. Well,
For an
have a
hour
nice night, Elgabar. Got a long
Very
day
nice.
tomorrow. Get some rest.
Yes. And I will leave his presence.
All right. Anybody else want to do anything else with the evening? If not,
Sounds like we're good.
you go to sleep for your last night in Port Aurum. You wake up as night passes into day. The light coming through the portholes is dim. Outside, the sky is overcast. The horizon, you see storm clouds off in the distance. As the sailors are busying about getting the ship shape for sailing.
Assist where able.
All right.
Ideally, not climbing anything.
I was gonna say.
Actually, I'm gonna go for climbing. I'm
Alright.
gonna show that I actually am capable.
All right. Roll me an athletics check.
Or fall to my death, whatever.
Actually,
Ugh.
yeah, athletics.
Not acrobatics.
Well, climbing is in athletics.
Oh, okay.
If the ship were in motion, I would say either or, just because
19.
19. You were able to climb the rope quite proficiently. You are in port. It is stationary. It's pretty straightforward. But you're able to get to the upper rigging. You have a great view of the port, the other ships, as well as the incoming storm that is coming from downspin.
I give a little sarcastic salute to Port Aurum and finish my business before climbing down.
All right.
I'm going to be in the main cabin charting courses and hoping to and studying the weather effects to see if we can determine what's the best way to course correct if we get hit by this storm.
All right. The captain discusses it with you.
Doing navigational stuffs.
And,
like I was hired for a job.
with the captain, the first mate, and the ship hand that handles general steering a bunch of the times, they're discussing and feel that the storm is far enough out that you guys will be able to get above it. Because your next stop will be a little ways out. So you'll be able to go above the storm and then coast past it as it passes below you.
Fair enough. And then just charting courses and whatnot, and making sure
Alright.
I'm doing the job for which I was actually hired.
Charting the course, the captain tells you that they have a special delivery they need to make. And you're slightly confused because the coordinates he gives you are in the middle of the ocean, right alongside one of the walls.
Mm.
I'm gonna open my mouth to say something and then think better of it. I am not going to question the boss right now.
All right.
I am going to ask the first mate though.
Okay.
Like, I, 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 I'm sure the captain knows what he's talking about, but this is where he told me to chart a course to, and on every map there is clearly nothing here.
That's because it's a location that's not particularly known, lad. That
Okay.
is
Second opinion has confirmed that we are all insane, and I will chart course appropriately.
oh no, there's something there. It's just not widely known.
Okay, then.
If you're particularly curious, we can chat about it,
I am
or you can
always
see it.
curious.
Ah,
I
that's
would love
fair.
to see it, but don't ever assume that I am not curious.
Do you ever wonder how the oceans here on the ring get their currents? How the water circulates?
I assumed it was some sort of force from the ring moving throughout the astral sea.
In part, but it doesn't quite get enough to keep the water circulating. So we are going to a station that is one of the few exposed bits of technology here on the ring. Quite neat, to put it mildly.
I can see why something as advanced tech as that would not want to be on a map then.
Yes, it is a joint venture, one of the earlier bits of cooperation between the races to keep a cooperative view on it to make sure it continues functioning properly.
Very well then.
Now,
In the
I'm
interest of cooperation.
far from an expert on the matter. I just know the stories that I got told my first time seeing it. I'm sure once we get there, one of the technicians would be happy to chat your ear off.
So, yeah, that's what I'm doing with my morning.
All right. Anybody else wanting to do anything before takeoff?
I mean, I'm going to be in the engine room helping out with, preparing to make way.
Nalria, once again, is, happy to, have you helping out.
Mm-hmm.
I've got nothing specific.
All right, aside from the helping with the ropes and the rigging. All right. From there, as the before I forget, Amanda.
Yeah.
What sign would you say passenger is?
Fine.
Yeah, like astrological
Whoa.
sign.
Yeah, and you're talking like the signs that we would recognize from our world, or
Yeah.
Can I make up constellations?
Well, there's
For
a couple
around
of
Ringworld?
constellations, but I'd be more than happy to chat with you about those because I only have a couple. But feel free to make some of the new ones.
Okay, I'm gonna send you some things.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
I'm
I
gonna
can
send you some things.
and I can send you the ones that I've got. But just in general, for like our signs, what would you say she is?
Oh man, what would passenger?
Or they, sorry.
Probably. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Um, hmm, maybe Gemini.
All right.
I was actually going to say Gemini.
Mainly, I
There's
just need
a very
like
duality for passenger.
a starting
Uh-huh.
point. Oh yeah, with the shared mind or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, mainly I was just wondering if you were using the orrery today.
Oh yes. Yeah. Sorry. I think in my head I was excited about what you were going to tell me, and then didn't actually vocalize that. What is it? What did it do?
The you hold it out. Some of the light coming through the clouds hits it, and it starts to spin. And once all the little bobbits inside align, little bit of illusory text floats above it, and just says, "Shoot your shot, but don't get attached to any specific outcome."
Wow. Sorry, that's Amanda. Actually, that's probably passenger too. What is that? Fine.
The end result is unclear, especially if you're waiting on a verdict from decision makers.
Right. Oh man.
Patience isn't your strong suit, but try to make your peace with the fact that you're not going to get a definite response.
I stick my tongue out at the orrery. I definitely would have wanted Algavar to be around to see how this thing works, because I know he's interested in the mechanics of magical stuff like this. I think I would probably try to laugh with him about how weird and vague these fortunes are.
All right. So after that, everybody's going about their business, getting ready to take off, and the designated time arrives. Captain gives the order. The workings of the airship kick to life, and you once again begin to ascend. As Port Aurum finally begins to shrink behind you, the airship rises and rises as you seek to breach past the cloud cover. After about a half hour of going up, you pass through the dense clouds and are greeted by the bright sunshine of the star terminus shining above you. The clouds extending out in front of you with the nice, gentle undulations of cloud tops. Some bits of it are a bit darker than others, with occasionally barely visible flashes of lightning strikes down within the storm as it draws closer to you. So, let's see. Marston, are you staying in the riggings or heading back down?
Is that a position that needs to be held?
Yeah, there's usually, some people just hanging out in case an order is given to where rigging needs to be adjusted and stuff like that. So,
Yeah,
usually
I'll
spend
stay in the
some time
riggings.
just looped onto some of the ropes. It's not super comfortable, but you're not particularly worried about falling.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. About a couple hours pass, sailing smooth. Storm has begun to pass below you. Everybody roll me perception checks.
Even if I'm down in the...
Oh, yeah, I suppose you're down below, so not you.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, I still
Obsidian.
can if it's like something audible, but...
Obsidian, were you up to anything specific?
22.
No.
Not 20.
21.
Nice. 21.
Wait, sorry, what were we rolling again?
Perception, but what was Obsidian just sort of taking care of? Helping out up above, helping out down below, or just taking solace in the fact that as a courier, he doesn't actually need to really do much since he's not on duty?
Absolutely that one.
All right, so
Gotta
sort
take
of
my
just,
rest when I can get it.
Gotcha. Top side or down below in your bunk?
Top side, I'll watch the other folks work.
Okay. Staying up for the entire trip or heading back down below? Mainly just getting a feel, are you outside when this perception check is being called for?
Yeah, I'll be outside.
Okay, so you can take part as well.
11.
11. Okay. Marston and Elgavar, since you guys got above 20. Marston, you know it because of your elevated position. You've got a slightly different view. Elgavar, you're, scanning the horizon, making sure, well, you can't actively see the ground, you are able to see the walls off in the, far distance. So you're still able to get an idea of heading based on angular relation with the walls.
Okay.
And the two of you notice a black dot in the distance behind you. It's not super visible. Elgavar, you would figure it's a ways behind you, but educated guess would be it's likely another airship to be up this high.
Okay. I will at least make mention to the captain or person in charge right now.
The
we
first mate is on duty up topside.
Probably nothing, but are there potentially pirates in this area?
Well, we're sailing down spin, so we're heading near Alcria, the Elven nation, and they're pretty fond of their marauding trips. So there's potential. That's why we invested in the ballista and extra armor. We'll keep an eye on it.
Point out the black spot on the distance.
Pulls out a pocket telescope, looks out. Still too far to really tell. Might just be another one of the ships from the port going along the same trajectory, but we'll keep an eye on it. At the very least, it'll have a ways to go before it catches up with us. Actually, tell you what. Elgavar? He hands you the telescope. Keep an eye on it.
Will do so.
I'm going to check some of the riggings up front and make sure the ballista is settled in. And he leaves the wheelhouse and goes down below. Well, not down below, but foredeck. Similar with Marston, you're able to see the dot out beyond, some of the other clouds. But unless you have like a telescope, you can't really see it just yet. But you are aware that it's there.
Would I have also, with that, noticed Sidwell going and making note and kind of pointing and kind of the exchange that just happened below?
Yeah, you would have easy view of where he was standing, gesturing towards the speck.
All right. Well, then I won't do anything further.
All right. Another 2 hours pass. The storm below you sends up a lot of rumbling and slightly turbulent air as the storm passes beneath you. You can hear the thunder rolling and see some of the lightning strikes. Elgavar and Marston, everybody if you feel like it, but roll perception. Elgavar and Marston with advantage, since you're aware of the ship's presence.
You said perception?
Yep.
And I'm sorry, is this a thing that
Are you still down below?
I am.
All right. Yes, this is visual based.
21, not 21.
13.
20.
All right. With the 13, you are aware now that the ship is approaching, just because some of the idle chit-chat from some of the other sailors, some others pointing it out. Elgavar with the telescope in hand, and Marston with the position up in the riggings. You can see the ship is gaining on you. The dot is larger now.
I will make mention that they are catching up to us quickly.
And I'll go change heading about 15 degrees, see if they follow.
Lay in the course correction.
Course changes, and after slightly less than an hour at this point, enough time has passed where you can see that the ship has also shifted course and is still following behind.
And then we let them know, hey, they are following after us and still catching up.
Probably just some fisherman who's lost his way and
Eel-infested waters.
the waters.
The captain now comes topside and pulling out his own telescope. Unfortunately, that means it's likely a Velvan make. Their ships have always been faster than ours. Well, we'll know within about an hour or so if it is a concern. Well, it's a concern now, but if we should be worried. For now, I'll make the call, make sure everybody's ready to potentially be called to action. Beneath you, another rumble of thunder rolls through.
Going to just look over the edge of the ship at the storm cloud and shut your noise, you.
Bright flash of lightning and a loud as the storm thunder feels like it's laughing at you.
Lol.
Okay. As you're heading, continues on. It comes to the point where the ship is now easily visible to everybody who's out on deck. Below deck, the word has passed through that the ship is being followed, and there's a general sense of unease among the sailors. Some of the other courier groups are chatting amongst themselves, and the more adventurous ones of them are, double checking, making sure some of their equipment is ready. Some of the sailors are, checking some of the weapon stockpiles to make sure they're easily accessible. And another 2 hours pass. And Elgavar, through the telescope, you are now able to make out the vessel with ease.
Elven make, I'm assuming? Like
It
Captain
is
Ahead.
of Elven make.
What's the flag look like?
Close enough to make out with.
The flag, it is flying, what you would have been told Elven Marauder ships generally fly when they're following along. It is a nondescript flag of a nation that is not associated with many Elven communities.
All right. I'm just gonna let the captain know it's definitely Elven, and they're flying what amounts to an Elven non-nation.
It's like a privateer vessel flying the flag of the nation they're trying to
Intimidate.
trying to
Or
collect
Imitate.
from. Yes,
Yeah.
imitate. Roll me, Stan, a perception check at advantage.
Disadvantage. A 16.
As you're looking through, the ship adjusts course ever so slightly, but enough to where you're able to get a view of the side of it, enough to see that the name written on the side is the Storm Warden.
Uh-huh.
Do we know anything about the Storm Warden?
It is the vessel that rumors have been saying has been harassing local ships for the past couple weeks, and is named after a previous Skarnir.
Yeah, I would let the captain know we should be preparing then, because they're going to catch us in at least the next 10 to 15 minutes, I think.
He grinds his teeth, curses a bit under his breath, and gives the order to move to general quarters. All hands on deck, and be ready for engagement.
I am going to armor up.
Word passes down below as well. The sailors handling the weapon stockpiles begin to bundle up a bunch of scabbard cutlasses and bring them out so they can be grabbed by some of the other sailors and crewmen. Nalria makes a gesture with her hands, which you would recognize as being religious in nature. And sort of curses under her breath. She pats the engine console with her hands and says, "All right, old girl, you ready for another one?" "And how about you?" she says as she looks at passenger.
I will put knuckles on my fingers and brace for anything. I guess I'll say, wherever you need me, that's where I'll be.
"All right. Whatever happens, take care. These airship battles can be hazardous, but if we're careful, we might be able to avoid it."
Either way, I'll keep us afloat.
"Be trusting you." Okay. About 10 minutes pass. The sailor up in the crow's nest rings the bell, indicating that the elven vessel is on intercept course. It's beyond a shadow of a doubt at this point, and he has confirmed they are going to weapons ready. To which Captain of the Endurance gives a similar call. Weapons out, be ready. He also gives the call to, if you are in the riggings, so a call to Marston and some of the other sailors to descend to the deck.
Do so post haste.
He comes over to you, Marston. All right, Marston, we're going to be trying something. Not Marston. Elgavar, sorry. Elgavar, we're going to be trying something that will hopefully work. And I'm going to be trusting you and your navigational abilities to help us with it. Are you up to the task?
What are we doing? And I just say that with a confident smile.
As soon as that ship draws within engagement distance, so about the range that the ballista has to it, we're going to make a hard descent into the storm. We're still over the continent of Ulis, so if we can descend enough, we might be able to lose them in a combination of the storm and the mountain range. But we're going to need to make sure that we don't crash into the mountain range. We're going to need sharp eyes and a careful hand at the gunwale.
I'm going to go look over my maps and try and determine specifically where we are, so I know just how far we can push that drop before we hit the mountain range.
All right. Roll me an intelligence check. Actually, make it an investigation.
Investigation is... loading. Well, that's slightly better. I got a 7.
7. All right. You feel as though you've got a solid idea of where you are, but with the density of the mountain ranges on this continent, and still being somewhat new to navigating with complete cloud cover on a Ringworld, you have an educated guess.
That's... yeah.
It's better than nothing, but you feel like you have a solid idea.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna just do a straight drop, or are we gonna angle in?
It'll be a hard descent, not straight down. Like, the nose will go down, and it'll be a steep descent.
Okay. I'm gonna advise everybody tie off.
Not Bjorn. I can call you Obsidian now. Obsidian, what are you up to during this?
Well, if there's been a call to get weapons ready, I guess I'm just eyeing the threat and waiting patiently.
All right. Marston, anything in particular you're doing?
Mid-range fighter at best.
How do you
So
feel about ballista?
If they're looking for a gunner, I can try to assist, tie off like Elgavar said, and get into position.
The sailor who is at the ballista looks over. He was like, "Oh, thank God. I've had 2 days of looking at this thing, and since we were in port, I never actually got a chance to fire it, so...
I guess this is time for a crash course.
I suppose. If you want it, I'd be more than happy to be the loader for you.
Fair enough.
The kid is visibly nervous.
Best keep your head about you. Worst case in any sort of scenario is panic.
No panicking here. Yeah.
Take a deep breath. Kind of like focus on him, kind of look me in the eye. Look, we'll get through this. Like I said, just keep your head.
Yes, keep my head. Keep my head. Okay. I can do this.
Damn right. Give him a nod, and then go back to inspecting, apparently, my new ballista.
All right. You inspect it, and the storm warden gets closer, and right about the time that it reaches the distance pointed out by the captain, everybody can roll me another perception check. Well, everybody at topside. Passenger, I want you to roll me investigation.
Can do.
19.
Please don't fuck me over now. Please don't fuck me over now. Please don't fuck me over now. That's not fucking me over. 18.
6.
16.
Okay. Passenger, you hear the inner workings of the airship beginning to wind up as the maneuver is preparing, and you hear an odd ticking coming from one of the side valves that sounds out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I am especially attuned to ticking, so I will go out of my way to figure out what that is, why it's doing what it's doing, and fix it.
All right. We'll go off the same investigation check. As you're looking it over, one of the levers has come loose a bit and has partially closed the valve, and the pressure inside is rising enough to cause the partially closed lever to just tick back and forth as it's trying to find one position or the other.
I will break out my tinkerer's tools, which I'm proficient in, and fix it mechanically if I can, and if I can't do so mechanically, if there's something that's bent or like out of place in that way, I will use my mending magic to fix it instead.
All right. Roll me that toolkit check.
Cool. Alright, well, it's a 19 on the die. Plus 3 in my proficient... Or is it... Wait a minute. Yeah. It's math.
Math.
Like 21 at least.
Math. Not even once.
That's where yeah, it's 21.
21. Okay. Yeah, with a 21, you're able to find that the issue with it is the rod that sort of holds the lever in place has stripped a little under the pressure, but you're able to get the lever in position, take it apart, put in a new rod, and get it put back.
Great.
Nalri off to the side, she's tinkering on something as well, looks over and says, "Good ear, good catch." And everybody topside, except for Marston, you're too focused on the ballista and making sure you know exactly how it's going to work. You guys catch sight of the ship as it's now within a close enough distance to where you can see some of the crew on the opposing ship, as well as a elf standing prominent right up at the front, sort of leg up in a very what's the word I'm looking for? Daring do kind of pose, leg up on a box, looking intently at you. And
Mine's
Elgavar and Obsidian, you recognize them. It is
Okay.
Solana from the log rolling and the knife throwing competition at the festival.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
They're close enough that we can see them.
Elgavar has a spyglass,
Oh, okay.
and
Sorry.
they're within just about ballista range, which is like 600 to 800 or something.
Gotcha.
I'm just gonna Solana.
So-
You'd probably hear me say it, just like
Yeah, what about her?
I just point.
Why is she with the pirates?
Oh, I'm sorry, Stephen. We did get a long rest, didn't we?
Yes, you got a long rest.
Great. Sorry. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, all good. It's a good thing to check.
Something wasting all your sorcery points on a cantrip.
Yeah. I don't think that was a waste. Thank you very much. It was very important to me.
Yeah, Elgavar, you feel as though, like, as you're looking through your spyglass, you feel like you're making eye contact with her, and she's just got a hard look on her face, slight, not a smirk. She's very stern and ready to catch you guys. Marston, the captain, comes over to the ballista and says to you and the sailor assisting you to just run over the plan one more time. I'm going to call, fire ballista as soon as they're within range, fire, and then we'll immediately begin our descent. Keep this thing loaded in case they pass within view again. They might be able to put up pursuit. With a name like Storm Warden, that's not entirely hard to believe, but we need to be ready to put up a fight if we can't lose them.
Understood.
All right. He tips his hat, gives the sailor a comforting pat on the shoulder, and then strides back to the wheelhouse. The ship comes within range. The captain shouts, "Fire ballista," giving you the sign to fire, and Elgavar the sign to descend. Arston, roll me an attack roll. Using dexterity and, let's see, proficiency, or just straight dex? D&D 5e ballista.
Well,
Even
I
though
had
he's been
imagined
trained how to use them, he's probably not proficient.
Yeah, proficiency is specifically like the knowledge about how to use anything, any given thing. So,
Range 120 to 480. Gotcha.
But you can know how to use a thing and still not be practiced enough to
Yeah.
in using it in the application of the knowledge to be proficient.
Yeah. At this point, nobody on the ship is particularly proficient.
Yeah.
It's a new edition, so everybody's kind of in the same boat. But it is...
I might argue that I am proficient, but having
you're
been
also
on
at
a
the wheel.
ship my entire I know. Having been on a ship my majority of my adult life though.
I got a 15.
All right. The 15, you launch the bolt, and it connects with the wood of the Storm Warden's prow, splintering it, and Solana just scowls. She turns back, shouts to the rest of her crew. You can't really hear it over the wind. And Elgavar,
Dive!
dive into the storm. And I will also call session here.
Okay.
It is 3:45.
Exciting.
Yeah.
When we come back, you begin the battle.
Excellent.
Questions, comments, concerns?
So many concerns. Holy crap.
No, I'm great.
Good session.
It's gonna be fun.
I know it was paced a little weird, the session, just with everybody sort of all over the place and doing very different things.
It worked.
That
Okay.
was so
Ish.
We've been a pretty all over the place party consistently, so we haven't gotten we've been consistently in settings where it like doesn't necessarily make sense to just stay as like a large group at any given time. So we've kind of, I think, been just going with the flow. And I'm okay with that. I mean, yeah, it's a little boring for if you're not the spotlight or even there, but like it's
I want to try to like bounce back and forth between each people, but you know, that can get a little jarring like in the middle of like role play stuff.
Yeah. I didn't have any
I
problems
apologize.
with the
It's
session
something
tonight.
I'm trying to balance and get better at. So, I hope y'all had fun. Hope y'all are looking forward to next time.
Yeah.
yeah. See you all in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Ciao.
I
2 weeks, but that's December 4th.
December 4th.
Oh,
I don't know whether. Yeah, it's a day. Huh.
Is
like
it?
any.
Just like any other day.
Ugh. Oof.
Damn.
Whoa!
Also-
I just realized I am very hungry.
Yeah, same. I also posted some art for Solana in the chat.
Yeah, I saw. It
found.
was really cool.
And it's low-key probably one of the favorite bits that I've found. Like, oh my god, I love that picture.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a very
she's
good picture.
hot.
that is. Oh my god. Yeah.
It I mean, it very much reminds me of General Armstrong's sister from
Oh yeah,
Full Metal
Olivia.
Alchemist. Olivia. Yeah, I couldn't think of her. I was just like Amelia. That doesn't sound right. But yeah, very very much reminiscent of Olivia Armstrong. Because she even had, I think, that same kind of sword or like a saber of some sort. But yeah, very cool art.
Yeah.
I love trolling concept art and character
God.
art.
I have
Uh,
a folder just packed
Yep.
with characters.
Yeah, I could do that cosplay.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm.
because I
Oh,
also
that's great.
built her mini in Hero Forge to visualize it a bit.
Nice.
Sadly, I couldn't really get like those boots.
Oh, project.
But
No,
yeah,
that's
like they
wanna
also didn't
drag
have
and
like
turn
the.
the hero. I want to drag and turn the Hero Forge picture, and I can't do that.
Oh, why is she with the pirates?
I'm guessing because she's a pirate.
yeah.
Why?
To be a good guy.
Yeah, she's too hot to be a good guy. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, do you see
He's
the
simply
eyeliner?
ready. Yep.
That's
Yep,
very
I mean-
intense eyeliner.
I'll blast her off the boat. Okay, she'll take a plummet. I'll do it.
What are you doing to my wife?
1,000-foot drop.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
And yeah, this is the same woman that saved Passenger from the gibbering mouther.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Just yanked you out of the gooey rock and said, "Good God, get away from it."
Oh,
Yeah,
I think that was the session I wasn't there for. That was the when the cult showed up.
Yeah,
I
it was
assume.
the chase.
Okay.
The cult at the docks.
Yeah, it's the woman Marston had the log rolling competition with and the knife throwing competition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Shit
do.
bag
I
guy
do.
now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do remember her, but I do not remember ever fighting a gibbering mouther.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad to be out of Port Aurum.
Same.
Yeah.
Me too.
Like,
It's been a hot second.
I was looking forward to like streamlining today a bit, like get the academy done, and then Alex is like, "I want to do a heist," and I was like, "Oh no."
Sir, that was way less time than the other stuff took.
Because
That
you
was like-
failed on the heist.
Yeah, I was gonna
That
say
was like-
it would have been if we basically forced him to come up with something on the fly, but I bailed immediately, and then you
Look, I
bailed.
still wasn't gonna make it
I
take
came
very
up with
long.
two
I was
things on
gonna.
the
I
fly.
was.
I came up with a boat heist and the house heist.
Yeah.
The boat
And
would have
then-
been poor idea on my part, though. So that would have been such a bad idea.
You sneak in and
I
steal
do
something valuable
enjoy
from the
that you.
captain.
I do enjoy that you literally like walked up to me and was like, "Hey, buddy, let's do some crime. You want to do
Yeah.
some crime, right?"
You
And
look
I was just like
nefarious.
staring at you like you were insane, but you're like, "Well, I can't back, I can't back off after that."
And, like-
So I guess we'll just keep pushing that.
Oh,
It's
look,
like
it
the
was
main
a
thought that
chance
came to
for
mind for me
Keen-
is like, we know that Obsidian tailed Marston, but Marston doesn't know that Obsidian tailed him.
Until I literally just told you that I
from
did
Yeah.
that.
Marston's
You did, but I
standpoint,
also
that
on a-
must
on a
have
very
sounded
specific-
horribly racist.
On a
What?
very
Hey, you're a tiefling. Let's go do crime.
No, that had nothing to do with it.
Yes,
I
but
just
Yeah.
knew he was
from
into-
Marston's standpoint, you're
Oh.
like, hey, you look nefarious.
yeah, because like also very specifically like you've tailed me without my knowledge and seen me get up to stuff, but you don't really know what that stuff was. And also a person who is that careful about what they're doing, I think you made the wrong crime pitch to. Like
Hey,
I'm
as far as Obsidian's
yeah.
concerned, you're into shady shit. I don't care if it's a stand-up business deal. I think you're into shady shit the way you go about it.
Yeah, but that's just it. Is like the way that you've observed me go about it is like the polar opposite of let's go do a robbery right now. What?
Let's do
No planning.
a
Let's just
robbery.
go.
Let's go do a robbery.
Do
I
some
pick my
crime.
crew based on their skills.
I've got a certain
yeah,
set of
sneaky.
skills. Betting my team is not one of them.
Yeah, I very much enjoyed that that interaction. It's just fun because like it. I don't know if you intended it to be as much of a flop as it was, or if you were legitimately trying to be like, well, Marston seems to be up to some stuff. I want in.
No, I was gonna try and drag you along for a smash and grab. That was
Okay.
basically it.
So it wasn't that you were trying to like get involved with Marston, like you said to the bartender. That was just a recovery.
I mean, I was trying to get you to trust me and team build.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that was mostly bullshit. I was just like, fuck it. Let's just.
Yeah, I think flipping it around would have probably been.
Look, in my brain, I had been sitting there for about an hour and a half sipping my water. I was like, I'm gonna do some shit now.
I just
And I
want to
don't
go.
care what it is.
Let's go.
I was like, me and Nick have been sitting here for a while, so let's just do something.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, like I said, that's a.
It happens, but I was
balancing
like,
thing
I need to do some stuff. I was like, I need to get into mischief.
I like that fate even decided that your plan was dumb and it made you roll nothing but any. but
Yeah,
that
yeah,
roll.
it really did. Even if I had to go on a short chase that, would have lasted maybe a couple rounds and would have taken Steven like 10 to 15 minutes to like narrate and like resolve, I was down for like a 10-minute little chase. Like, I just wanted to get some stuff rolling.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Was
very
not to
cool.
be.
hope you guys enjoyed the session as much as I did. I got to roleplay a couple bits that I felt was fun for me. I got to give out some more lore.
Yeah.
it was great.
Even just sitting by and listening, I enjoyed the world
honestly,
building.
I didn't even think that like I didn't think the library and the entire that whole thing was going to be a thing. I thought it was going to be, just a quick in and out, but
I wanted to make it, something worthwhile, as opposed to you guys traveling for, 3 hours to say, hey, there's some magic kids out in the wards.
We'll get them.
Go
Yeah,
kidnap some
I'm-
magic children.
Yeah, I was glad that it like had some weight to it and that there was actually stuff there for us to interact with.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
expect it, but it's cool that it was.
Yeah, didn't want it to be a just offhand thing. So, glad you enjoyed, and I was really trying to get Algavar some, like, directionality for his firearm thing.
Oh yeah, no, I wrote it down. It's in my notes.
It's like I've been teasing, like, bits of it potentially exist out in the world. You just need to know where to look. It's
Yeah.
just the place that you could probably start looking isn't great. But yeah, unless anybody has anything else, we can call session.
Cool.
And
Good.
I've gotta go to my other D&D group and have like a boundaries and appropriate conduct at the table conversations.
ooh,
Thank you very much for the session today. It was a lot of fun. I liked it, and I'm
I love
excited
how
for next week.
we just
ya.
cringe at that at needing to have that conversation. That's...
yeah, it's an unfortunate one, but it's important to have.
I hope it goes well.
And I
Yeah.
hope the problem resolves.
Well, it will, one way or the other.
Yeah. All right, well, take care and good luck.
Everybody.
Later, folks.
I know.
Bye-bye.
Anyhow.
Bye, stream. I'll be back on in a little while to play more of Mass Effect: The Darkest Timeline. But first, I
The
need lunch,
darkest timeline.
where I make Commander Shepard the most miserable bastard in existence.
Hell yeah.
Like, I've planned out the story of what decisions would just make him the most unhappy.
You're like, it's gonna happen.
Like in Mass Effect 2, betraying Samara in favor of Morinth. And then in Mass Effect 3, instead of coming across Samara again, you come across Morinth, who is now turned into a banshee.
Ooh.
Ugh. And then if you don't help Jack in Mass Effect 3, she ends up getting turned into a phantom.
These are
Like-
so many things I didn't know.
Yeah, like it's things that if you play a normal game of Mass Effect, you don't come across.
You're
But
not just a
there's-
total bastard
There's
about
if you play a Renegade playthrough of Mass Effect, you're a miserable bastard.
Yeah? Jeez. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I'm really not looking forward to it, but it gets views.
That's true, it does.
Because everybody's
That
like,
it
oh, I've
does.
never done Renegade playthrough.
People are like, yeah,
Let's
people
see
are like,
what
I'm not
happens."
that much of an asshole. I would like to see what this is all about.
Oh, so many of the decisions physically hurt me.
It's the ones that make me giggle the most.
Oh, Like, I tried doing a Renegade playthrough of Mass Effect 3, but as soon as I got to the point where it's like, I have to shoot Morden, no, turning the game off.